are naturally attracted to that more. I use this particular image. This is actually one of my good buddies. It was his Eclipse that he got 2 years ago, and a couple of days after he sold it, this is what the other person did to the car. So it's kind of a sad story for him. But anyways, so the reason why, people get, if we know people get attracted or they're kind of hooked onto that bad news concept, is there a way we could use that in our campaigns or ideas to help increase the open rate? So we've done some tests before, and I mean, a lot of the internet marketing and email marketing gurus have tried this concept and successfully at least doubled their open rate by simply having the subject line bad news in their subject. And that was their subject line. It was just called bad news. And again, you could even break this down even more. Studies show that if you put bad news in all lowercase, it's actually more effective than the way I've projected it here, where the B is capital and the N is capital. But anyways, I'll just show you how we've used this concept to increase our open rates. Is when new ICs would graduate from training, we would send them their first email that they received from Social Minds had the subject line called bad news. And then the way we've kind of turned it around, because of course people all want to know, what is this bad news, what happened, and they'll click on the email to open it. Inside we say, in this case, corny subject line, I know, but it's been proven to have a high open rate. And and there all of a sudden we give them an email marketing tip. The bad news is there's much more for you to learn even after you had this whole week of training and Marvin's training, and there's still so much more that you guys still need to know. The good news, however, is that we will help you, or whatever it may be. So if you are using any negative in your subject line, you've got to find a way to sort of twist it and to make it work for you. So there's companies that before they use the concept like our product sucks, and then you click on it and it's a vacuum cleaner because it actually sucks up dirt or whatever it may be. So or anything along those lines where you could think of where it could entice somebody to actually be curious and open it. But then again, it's that whole creative way of how do you spin that concept or idea to make it work for you. Okay, so the next point I want to discuss is the actual first sentence of your web copy. A lot of people don't realize the first sentence of your email copy, I should say, not your web copy, of your email copy is also very important. And here's a simple reason why. If anybody's using things like Outlook or Gmail or AOL Mail, often they will actually auto-preview the first sentence into the subject line. So here you have, for example, here's a snapshot of my Outlook this morning. And you can see, here's the from address. Here is the subject that actually was part of it. But then underneath it, you could actually see that Outlook is grabbing the first sentence of whatever the copy is inside the email. So now this, as marketers, gives us more room to tell people, hey, come click on me. We've got a great product or a great service or a great coupon or whatever your offer may be. You've got now that room to market to them even more. And here's just, again, another sample. And this is, the other one was Outlook. In this case, this is a Gmail account. You've got your subject line here, sorry, your subject line over here, and you can see the areas right after in gray. All this area is actually being pulled right from the first sentence of the email copy inside that email. So people don't even actually have to open your email to start reading what it's about. You could already do that right in the subject line. So before we move forward, again, just to kind of recap what we just discussed right there, again, very high-level stuff. When we're talking to our prospects about building the subject line correctly, it's got to be effective. It's got to be compelling, and there's different ways to do so, whether you're using something negative or creative or fun or viral or check this out, even being more personal. It doesn't always have to be the most formal thing ever. Even if you're just more personal, it does a great impact for your campaigns. It always boils down to testing, but at the same time, just keep in mind your first sentence of your email copy is also being shown in the preview of most email clients. The second point that we discussed is the fact that if you don't have an email list, how do you get subscribers? How do you get people to join in? So there's different ways you could do so. The most easiest way you could build a list, and what I mean by a list is getting people to opt in and give their name and their emails so you can market to them or send them information, is leverage your existing traffic. And this applies to anything. I mean, we often get questions like, if we build a Facebook fan page, how do we get subscribers? If we got a Twitter account, how do we get fans or followers? The most simple way you could do so, is just like how it relates to email, is leverage the existing traffic coming to your website. Most people, when they go to your website, they're not going to say, hey, let me go find them on Facebook and manually search for their name. They're not going to do that. But if they land on your homepage and they see these icons, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, they're more likely to say, hey, I'm on that social network. Let me see what they're doing over there and what's the value for me. The same thing applies for emails. So you want to make sure that your call to action for your email, subscribe now, join now is there, and leveraging your existing traffic to get them there. Because, I mean, there's chances people will go to your website, they might leave and never come back. So you don't want to lose that, that potential customer. You want to make sure that you're always, in front of them, talking about your products and your services and how you could help them out. Use a double opt-in, and just for the people that are not really familiar with email marketing, double opt-in basically means the person who's subscribing to your email has to confirm it twice. So they're pretty much agreeing to it twice that they want that you're allowed to send them information. So the first time would be, for example, the form you're seeing on the right-hand side. They fill out the form, they hit submit, and they'll probably get some type of automated email saying, hey, we just received a subscription from this email account. Could you please verify it was you? And if so, click on this link. And that would be your double opt-in. So once you click on that link, they'll probably get another automated email saying, thank you for subscribing, and that's when they get their first automated email, newsletter, or whatever the offer may be. The reason why these double opt-ins are important, because there are a lot of spam bots out there. They go and scrape these forms online, and they check to see are people using double opt-ins. So they'll automatically fill out these forms, and if they don't receive an email back with a confirmation, you're kind of put into that spam filter. So any emails that you're sending out now, it kind of gets locked or trapped in because these spam bots out there have already recognized that your form was not a double opt-in form. Use an incentive. I mean, it's simple. If you want somebody to give your name and email address, what's really in it for them? And a lot of people do not want to give their email address because they're always worried about spam. I mean, in fact, I remember I actually have a separate Hotmail account I use to sign up for things, just in case I get spammed to death. Because I've had that headache before where I was ignorant, I was dumb, and I used my primary email account that I use for everything. And next thing you know, it started getting flooded with all sorts of offers, and and then I had to abandon that account. So not wanting to do that again, I created a separate email account, sort of like a dummy account that I use for any type of sign-ups that I may need to do. So most people, not to say most people are like that, but you don't want to put them in that fear that, hey, if we get your name and email, we're going to spam you or anything. So this is kind of a twofold. You want to use an incentive, and the way you get people to actually fill out the form, I mean, it's been proven. Even if you put the simple words underneath the submit button or subscribe button, as you can see over on the sample on the right-hand side, if you write, we value your privacy, it's been proven that will actually increase the amount of people that subscribe to your campaign. So go back and look at your forms and go back and look at your clients' forms and see if under the name and email, is there anything that talks about valuing privacy? It doesn't have to be these exact words, but something along those lines where they know that their information is not going to be resold and they're only going to be sending information because you're requesting it. So that's really the message there. And the incentive, I mean, there's so many different incentives you could have. I mean, if you say, give me your name and email, we'll send you this free white paper, or you'll get your first month free, or you'll get a coupon, or you'll get, it could be anything really to have them give to collect their actual information. Another quick and easy way is once they're done filling the form, so once they put the name and the email and they hit submit, they might be taken to a thank you page. But again, if you want that information to kind of spread, you might say, hey, refer 5 of your friends and you will get, maybe you'll get something, maybe another incentive. to spread the word.